106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Bartender knows what we want. We're a regular, everyday, 2-for-1 family, keeping each other from thinking too much. Someone's always buying if you ain't got money, 'cause everyone needs drinking buddies.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. C&D's Booze Reviews, episode 49. 49. We're back up in this bitch.
Yeah.
And a little bit of good news. If you get on the YouTube page, last week's episode, Almost Famous, movie that Chase picked, we got video up on the YouTube. By the way, this is also take 2 of recording this episode. We did pretty good on the intro, and just because I am who I am and this is what it is, the freaking camera ran out of space and we had to start over.
Yep.
So I feel like I used my good stuff up
Take
already.
2, baby. Well, okay. You know what? We didn't say this in the last intro, but I can say it now.
Okay.
Big news, people. Big news.
Yep.
We are moving studios.
Yeah, we're upgrading.
And eventually you guys will see it here in the next couple weeks, I think.
Yep.
And we're excited.
Yeah, we're going to have a better studio, which is going to be pretty bitchin'.
We'll finally be out of a dungeon.
We'll be out of the storage closet. Well, we went from a dungeon to a storage closet, and now we'll have like an actual space.
Yeah.
Where we can decorate nice. We'll look professional. The problem is we continue to upgrade. We upgrade equipment. We upgrade studios. The content doesn't upgrade.
No,
we're pretty run of the mill here.
Yeah, it stays the same.
But if you watched last week's YouTube video, be patient. It took me forever to figure out how to get the audio and the video connected, and it's not perfect. But we're going to get better. I'm getting better. If you're a nerd out there that wants to work for free, hit us up.
Hey, if you're in college, something, you guys need to hone your skills a little bit.
Maybe a reference on a resume.
Yeah. We'll if they call, we'll give you a good word.
I always answer the call.
Yeah.
Unless it's a bill collector.
Yeah, I turn that down to
Yeah.
voicemail.
Well, I've learned that if you just never answer, they can't ever get any money from you.
Off the grid.
Yeah. But yeah, we're moving into a new studio soon. Maybe we've got a couple more episodes till we celebrate our 1-year anniversary, which hopefully we'll plan something really cool. That'll be a big show. Yeah. Maybe we'll be in the new studio by then. Maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. We're just kind of
playing it by ear.
Yeah, rolling with the flow there. But yeah, last week we did Almost Famous. Go check that out. This week was my week, and it was between a couple movies, but we ended up deciding to do Big Fish, which is not older. I mean, it's older. Would you say
2003?
Came out in 2003. It's a Tim Burton film. Very kind of different than a lot of the movies that Tim Burton directs, because he does a lot of dark and mysterious kind of gothic style stuff.
Yeah.
I think this and like Willy Wonka is kind of not.
Yeah, this is way different than his usual thing, though.
Still got a lot of. You can clearly tell it's a Tim Burton film.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, the movie follows the story of a man in his life, and it's full of tall tales. He's a storyteller.
Yeah.
And the movie kind of opens up with him being in some poor health, and his son, who's now a journalist, oddly enough, he's a storyteller himself, is frustrated because he doesn't know what's true and what's not true.
Yeah, and the whole movie begins with him having to come back home because his father is in bad health.
Yep.
And he kind of, out of, I guess, not desperation, but like a longing to know his father, he starts to ask him about all these stories. And then throughout the movie, they do flashbacks with different actors, and it kind of plays out the stories.
Well, and he's kind of writing a story on his dad's life, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when he's narrating, he even says, he's like, keep in mind, like, none of this is true.
Yeah.
which is funny. But there's lots of scenarios in this film where it's present day, where his dad is very much longing to be center of attention, telling his stories. And you can see the people that are hearing him for the first time.
Oh, they're mesmerized.
They're enthralled,
Yeah.
right? But obviously he's heard him a bazillion times. But the
Yeah.
movie opens up, the first tall tale that is told is about a fish that is uncatchable. And it's a legendary fish, massive fish. It's uncatchable and passes up every lure and every kind of bait there is. And just kind of out of just to, I don't know, see what happens, he ties his wedding ring on
Yeah.
to his fishing line and he catches said fish.
Yep.
But here's what's funny before we really get into it. I think anybody, well, really in a lot of different scenarios or hobbies, but especially outdoorsmen, fishers, and hunters, everybody has a big fish story. Okay.
I actually wrote that down too. Everyone knows a dad. They they have a friend whose dad is like this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, tells these crazy scenarios.
Oh,
and
you
stories.
mean Murray Knox?
Yeah. Well,
I grew up with this.
yeah.
My dad commands a room when he goes in. But I mean, I have one even. Like everybody that I know has one that like you're fishing alone. You caught the craziest, biggest, wildest fish or is on this or is on that. Nobody can prove you wrong because nobody was there. Right. And, but anyway, that's why it's big fish, but he does, it's kind of a flashback of his life and he's telling it to various different people, whether it's his son's wife,
Yeah.
whatever, which by the way, his son's wife, that actress, she was the
Inception. She's in that.
right, but she's also the bad girl in Dark Knight or
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah. The Batman movie. Yeah.
She was the bad. Well, okay. Well, she was a bad girl.
Yeah.
But I meant she was the bad guy, but also so was Bane. So I guess I called her the bad girl. But in that movie, she was a little bit of a bad girl too.
Yeah.
All right.
Behave.
But she's she plays the wife. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, okay. So you find out though that Will, even more so now, he's having a child. So he's trying to like understand his dad more because I think with this child coming, he's like, you know, looking towards his dad, like as you know, asking him like, how do I do this fatherhood thing?
right.
And for him, it's difficult because they have such a strained relationship.
Turbulent relationship, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when your dad is the center of attention all the time, because like there's even a scene where I think it might be his rehearsal dinner for his wedding or something. And his dad's giving a toast and he's telling the story about the fish. And the only part of the story that remotely has anything to do with Will was it just happened on the day that he was born.
Yeah.
So like, you know, normally those toasts are supposed to be about,
Yeah, the son.
Right.
Or whatever. The
and it
child.
wasn't.
Yeah.
And so they got in a big fight and they didn't talk for years after that until his dad got sick. And like you said, he kind of felt like maybe this is my last chance to get in there and really get to know him and kind of decipher all these tales. And he is convinced that absolutely nothing that his dad says is true.
Yeah. He thinks he's the biggest liar ever.
Yeah. And you know, it's hard. I don't want to talk about all the tales. I mean, we can obviously talk about some of them, but for people that haven't seen the movie, I don't necessarily want to. But it does. It goes through this guy's
Entire life, really.
I mean, from the day he was born, he tells a tall tale. You know, and then
my favorite one is he's going through puberty. And he goes, you see, my body was growing too fast, so I had to sit in a bed for 3 years until my body could catch up to what its growth rate.
And the one thing that about this, which I hate it because I just kind of talk shit on my dad for this, but in all of his stories, he is the most intelligent, the most athletic, the most heroic, the bravest, the most courageous, the smartest, the fastest.
Everything. He's the best.
Right. Does that remind you of anybody? This made me take a little bit of a look at myself. I was talking to...
Well, you know, inherently, you kind of are a little bit like this.
I was talking to Shaylee. I was explaining the movie to her. About, you know, kind of like we are now. And I was like, you know, he just tells a lot of tall tales and like, you know, there's some truth to it, but he adds details, makes it a lot more interesting and stuff like that. And she goes, "Are you talking about yourself?" And I was like, "I don't do that." And she goes, "Dalton, you spew so much bullshit that you believe it's true." And I started thinking, I was like,
Shit.
maybe at times it's possible that I do manufacture a couple details in a story to make it more interesting.
No way.
But 90% of it's half true. The stories that I tell. And I am guilty. Sometimes I'll tell them so many times I do start to believe them.
One of the stories, though, I'm gonna say probably the most important one is he finds this quote unquote witch, and he sees how he's going to die.
Yeah, that's a constant throughout the movie.
So throughout the movie, he's like, "This isn't how I'm gonna die." Like,
yeah, he gets put in situations where he all of a sudden becomes super brave because he knows he already saw how he was going to die. So he knows, oh, it's not my time. This isn't how I'm going to die.
This isn't how I die.
So he keeps going, which could you imagine what a superpower that would be? Do you think it'd be a super, would you want to know or not?
Well, there's like, kind of like in the movie, there's other people that see their deaths because of this witch, and they're not very glamorous. Like one guy dies on the toilet. I mean, you know.
Well,
like,
so did Elvis. He
yeah,
celebrated.
but like, if that's how I went out, I'd be like, shit, I wouldn't want to see that.
You would never use the toilet again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be digging a latrine or something.
So you wouldn't want to know?
I don't think so.
I think for the benefit of like being able to know that.
Now, if it's like the main character in
That's
this
what I'm
movie,
saying.
yeah, then it's kick ass. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll live till I'm like old and whatever.
By the way, the witch played by Tim Burton's wife.
Yeah.
She's in every fucking movie he does.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She is really awesome. She's in Harry Potter too.
Yeah, Bellatrix.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can see her as now.
Really?
Because of that Harry Potter movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always Bellatrix Lestrange. to me.
Oh, she really did good in that. But anyway, there's let's just mention a few without actually telling the tales. There's one of the first ones is about a giant
Yep.
that he befriends
Yep.
named Carl, who, by the way, that real guy is fucking massive.
Yeah, he has gigantism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they make him a lot bigger. But
Yeah, he's like,
Danny DeVito plays a kind of a P.T. Barnum style guy. He's a
He's a
what do they call him? A ringmaster?
yeah, the
in a
ring
carnival,
master. Yeah.
or not a carnival? Circus.
Circus, yeah.
When's the last? Do they even have circuses anymore? Like a
I was
ring
thinking
circus?
I was thinking about that when I was watching this movie. I was like, I don't know if I've ever actually been to one.
I have. I've been to two.
Are they like that?
One of them was. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, here in town, here in Eureka. Yeah. They had one when I was two when I was a kid, but they had one. I think it might have been different circus companies, but they had one. It was a tent and it was a ringed circus.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was at I don't know what it is called now, but it used to be the Matt Samuels building, but it might have been before it was even called that. But that area, and it was a big tent. And I remember I rode an elephant and I rode a camel. Because like before the circus started, you could like buy a ticket and ride the animals or whatever. And then the coolest one I went to, that might have been Wichita. I don't know, but my Uncle Steve took me. And they had like the acrobats and the crazy shit.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but I have not, like every now and then you see like there's a circus, but I don't know if it's like a ringed, with like
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. Really, they're kind of
What a weird, like,
life.
it's such a, like, I don't know, niche, like, thing, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, because they got that Cirque du Soleil in Vegas, but that's like a whole big production.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But to travel around in like camp trailers.
Yeah, that's a weird, that's a weird lifestyle, man.
But Danny DeVito plays this ringmaster or whatever in the circus, and Ewan McGregor is the younger version of this guy. He decides to work for him, not for money, but for information, because another tall tale, he saw the love of his life and basically decided, didn't even say a word to her.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry her. And by happenstance, according to his story, Danny DeVito's character knows who she is. And so he will work, and every month that he works, he'll give her another piece of information on who she is.
Yep.
And it is the most vague information ever.
Yeah, like,
He worked a month and he goes, hey, some information. He goes, oh yeah, her favorite flowers are daffodils. And he goes, oh my God, daffodils. Wow, what a unique thing. Really? And then the second month, she really likes music. Who doesn't?
Yeah, the one was like, she's in college.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And he goes, oh my God, she's in college. What an incredible woman. He's basically just describing a regular person.
Yeah.
And that's one of the tall tales. But he meets a lot of interesting people along the way, whether
Very unique people.
Yeah. And I just don't know how to.
So a lot of these stories too, I don't know if you notice this, have like life metaphors in them.
Sure.
So,
Well,
like-
but don't most.
For one instant, he left town or whatever, and he comes to a fork in the road, and one of the roads is paved, the other one is like covered in wood, like trees and shit. And he's like, well, you take the paved road, and, you know, basically symbolizing he took the hard road in life.
Right.
And he ends up in this paradise vector. And it's like this angelic place where everything's perfect.
Where Steve Buscemi makes his appearance.
Yeah. And God, he's funny in this movie, but
He's a funny guy.
yeah.
But he ends up at this paradise because I think, doesn't he say something? He's like, what do they say? They say sometimes the long road is, oh shoot, I forget the quote.
I can't remember, but
yes, you're right. It is to symbolize that, because he does say in the movie, he's like, the harder way to do things, or the harder whatever, sometimes has the most benefits, or I've heard that, or whatever.
yeah.
And so yes, he ends up in this paradise, which is, it's kind of an odd thing. It's a real Tim Burton thing, because they have a list and they're like, oh, we're not expecting you yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, what is this?
To me, it symbolizes like heaven,
That's kind of what I was thinking.
because it really is like this perfect, idyllic place.
The pie is the best. It never gets too hot. It never gets too humid. It never gets too cold. You don't have to wear shoes because the grass is so soft.
Perfect,
And
yeah.
all this stuff. And this little girl throws his boots on the high wire to basically say you're stuck here. Because when he's like, I got to go. And they're like, how are you going to leave without your boots? And he goes, well, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But have you ever thrown your shoes on a power line?
No, I always wanted to.
I did one time. Remember the movie Like Mike?
Yeah.
That's why I did it.
Was it cool?
It was pretty cool. It took me like 6 throws though to get him up there. But anyway, but then he leaves his paradise, and that's when he gets hooked up with the circus.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll just skip ahead. I really don't know how to do this without telling all the tales, and you don't necessarily want to do that.
Well, he, let's just say, obviously he marries this woman.
Mhm.
Well, unfortunately for him, he has to go to war.
Go to
and-
war, yeah.
And really, his life kind of takes towards his middle age. He's always a good person, but like life gets a little harder for him as things go on.
He's
and-
also, in the most like humblest way possible, very selfish.
Oh yeah.
Because he's only seeking the next adventure or the next. He's very ambitious, and he's very this. So while he does do a lot for other people and care for other people, he's like low key, really selfish.
Okay, well, we can jump here. The son, though, as his father's dying, like his conditions are getting worse, and the son, his mom can kind of tell like the tension's still there. So, in her own way to like bring them some closure and become close again, she takes him to this storage room of all the crap that she saved of his father's. And the son ends up finding out that most of the stories are true. It's just they're
Exaggerated,
very exaggerated,
Yeah.
obviously.
which is what
and-
I do sometimes.
And then, so this leads him to further investigate these sides of the story. And I don't want to spoil this ending.
No, because
So
it's
I'm just-
phenomenal.
Because I just kind of want to leave it here. But let's just say he comes to understand his dad a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And towards the end, they do reconcile. And it's a very touching
Oh my god.
scene.
It's one of the coolest endings
Yeah.
in a movie, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like you said earlier, we all know somebody like this too.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I'm starting to realize I feel like I am that person. But I like telling stories. It's fun.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes I exaggerate a little bit. Okay.
A little.
Yes, a little.
Okay.
All right, but I don't get crazy. But this movie, this is what I love about movies, and we've talked about this probably damn near every episode.
Yeah.
Movies are so awesome at taking you back to a point in life or giving you a sense of comfort or whatever, because you watch this movie with somebody or this movie reminds you about somebody or what have you, right? This movie reminds me of like two people, and they're both my uncles, an Uncle Mike and an Uncle Steve, which I feel like everybody in the world has either an Uncle Mike or an Uncle Steve or both. But my Uncle Steve was very much like this, like a storyteller. But my Uncle Mike, and I don't know why I remember this, and when I was, my Uncle Mike's from Arizona, lives in New Mexico now. And I had two Uncle Mikes, actually, matter of fact, but this is the younger one. He picked me up from the airport one time. I was flying in to see him or grandma. I don't even remember, but I was probably 9 or 10. And he picks me up from the airport. We get in the truck and we're driving. And he goes, son, I got to tell you something. And that's how my uncles, like, if you're a boy, they all call you son. Come here, son. Hey, son. And so he goes, son, just so you know, tensions are pretty high at the house right now. And I was like, oh, really? You know, what's going on? And he goes, well, you know I love your Aunt Karina. I said, yeah. And he goes, but last week, she showed up. I go, who? And he goes, we were sitting there having dinner, and doorbell rang, and there was Shania. And I was like, Shania? And he goes, yeah, you know, Twain. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, she was coming, begging for me back, and all this. And I kept telling her, Shania, our love can never be. Our love can never be. And he goes, then that probably would have been fine. But next thing you know, Faith's car pulled up and Faith got out of the car. And I said, Faith? And he goes, yeah, Faith Hill. She's thinking about leaving Tim. And, you know, we had a thing. And so then Shania and Faith got into it and your aunt got involved. And it was just a whole mess. And I knew he was lying.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, I'm a young boy and I knew he was lying. But the way he told the story.
Yeah, isn't that amazing how as a kid you can just like envision this whole scenario?
Dude, I'm telling you, I knew he was lying, but the way he told it made me kind of like,
maybe it did
there's something there. I swear to God, I'm 30 years old. If he came in here right now and told that exact same story, I would know it's bullshit. But there's a part of me that would still be like, maybe it did happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this movie is like, it just makes me think of those people.
This movie, man, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a rating.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, this is probably a 5.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 5. So
yeah, like this is a great.
Well, they jam-packed so many things in, an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours or whatever, however long the movie is. But they did it the right way. Like sometimes movies get clustered.
Yeah.
This one flows so perfectly, and it goes back and forth timeline-wise and stuff.
I just like the creativeness of it.
It's very creative.
It's such a creative
But
idea.
like you said, it's full of lessons. It's full of everything. And the way it ends, it ties everything together so perfectly.
Yeah, it's a great ending.
Yeah, but I would say, yeah, I'm at about a 5.
Yeah. It's Tim Burton, man.
Tim Burton
Doesn't get enough love. He's made some great films, man.
Yeah, but I think he's one of those directors that I don't even know what he looks like. You know what I mean? Like he's just so behind the scenes. Like, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Edward Scissorhands.
He did that Alice in Wonderland movie. He's done, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, just to name a few.
Yeah, he's made some cool, like some
Beetlejuice.
classics. Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I like this movie a lot. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I know we didn't do a very good job of breaking it down, but really we couldn't because
guys, if you watch this movie, you'll understand why it's difficult to break down.
But it's one of those movies that, I mean, you're gonna be paying attention whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. But I have a few things to dive into outside of the movie. It's been a big week. And I have been conflicted about a couple things recently. Just being married. I'm not conflicted like about my wife, but just like the way she does stuff sometimes is just not how like I would do it. Not that it's bad.
Yeah.
It's just like sometimes I'm watching her exist. And I'm just like, oh, that's just not how I would do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so, which prompts me, I wanted to put together a little list. I want to see if you agree or if can add to it.
Okay.
I think there's a really big misconception for women especially. I feel like, obviously, I will never understand women. There's just no way.
Yeah.
They're such complex creatures. But I also think that women don't understand men at all. And the reason I compiled this list is because women should, because we're very simple creatures.
Yeah.
So I put together a little list of a few things that all or most men do.
Okay.
And they're very simple.
Yeah.
And for some reason, women don't understand it.
Okay.
From my observation. Number one, when ratchet strapping any sort of load, either in the bed of a truck or a trailer, we always tug the strap and say,
She ain't going nowhere.
that ain't going nowhere. That's one thing we always do.
I don't
Every
know why.
man does it.
I don't know why.
Yep. Also, we convince ourselves that at certain points in the game, we can make better play calls than the head coach of our favorite team.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Every game.
Every game.
And we can't.
No.
But we convince ourselves that we can.
We know nothing.
3. Don't notice at times. Oh, wait, what the hell? Oh, sometimes we don't notice that at times while relaxing on the couch, our hand is just in our pants.
Yeah.
I don't notice that it's there.
Yeah.
My wife's like, get your hand out of your pants. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know it was
Little
there.
bugger has a mind of
Just,
its own,
just,
man.
just cupping my balls for no reason.
Giving myself a physical. What up?
Can make any afternoon a good one with 2 buddies and a cooler of beer.
Facts. Yeah, that happened. It's true.
Men can make games or, I mean, out of nothing. We could just be sitting around seeing who's going to get closest with the bottle cap to the cooler
Yeah.
and have the best afternoon of our lives.
Yeah.
A simple thing that somehow women don't seem to understand how we can do that.
It's like when you pick up a drill, what do?
Zzz, zzz.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, if you don't, you're a psychopath.
Yeah, right? It's just a
Yeah, you
normal
gotta check
thing.
the battery life.
Yeah.
But sometimes girls, they gotta go do all these things like, oh, we gotta go to get our nails done and we gotta do this and we gotta do that to have fun. And it's like, man, just leave me here in the shade with a buddy of mine. We're good all day. Get excited over some of the smallest, most trivial things. By that, that's pretty a vague description, but meaning like I will get so excited if something comes on TV that I haven't seen in 10 years. Like just the smallest things can please us, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
You know what I had? 9:30 at night, like a couple days ago, I was laying in bed and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pop some popcorn.
Yeah.
Loved it. Best thing I had.
Made your whole day.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, this
Such
is
a
awesome.
small thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't take much to please men.
No, not really.
And then the final thing I have on here, and the list could go on, but no matter what our age is, when we get up out of a chair, whether our back hurts or not, we let out a.
You have to.
You have to.
You know what
You get your man card pulled if you don't do that.
I got to add one to the list.
Mm-hmm.
The belief that, like, say when we watch Troy, the belief to think that we could do that.
Yeah.
Do you not do that in every action movie?
I'll do it in movies like that. I do it probably more so if I'm watching a Western because I'm like, oh man, if I was alive back then,
I'm gunslinger.
I'm a gunslinger. I would be Doc Holliday. I would be. Yeah.
Yeah, but our delusional minds were like,
Well, we're very delusional creatures. I will.
yeah, but in our delusional minds, we're like, yeah, we wouldn't be killed. You know what I mean? Like, nah, we'll be fine.
Yeah. So that's just a short little list. Hopefully that makes women kind of understand a little bit that we're not very complex.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. A lot of the times when we're sitting there in silence and you think that maybe we're solving the world's problems in our head, we're not.
I can literally sit and not have a thought in my head.
Yeah, I could do that. Or I could just be thinking about like, you know, hey, it'd be nice to play golf maybe next week or something. No, I'm not thinking about anything. And like I see those videos that make me laugh when they're like, she thinks that they're out cheating, and it's just the guys, and they like make some stupid acapella song, and they're like in their 30s. Like that's literally what it's like to be a guy.
Dude, So I wanted to bring this up. Me and you last weekend
Yeah.
seen Deadpool and Wolverine.
We did. We need to be careful.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but I want to tell you about my night
Okay.
because I don't know what it is. Whenever I go to Wichita,
Yeah.
weird shit happens. We had the Rat Man before,
Uh-huh.
the Swiper No Swiping.
Swiper,
guy.
no swiping. Yeah.
So let me tell you what happens when I go to this movie.
I can't wait.
So, okay, here we go.
Okay, bud.
Got the tickets. Went into the concessions. This is the first strike of the night.
Okay.
I'm at the concessions. Kelsey wants lemonade. I look at all the machines in the Warren or the AMC, and I'm looking around. Only one of them has lemonade, and it's a mom using it. So I have to wait.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, whatever. 5 minutes later, I'm still waiting on her.
Was she filling up a big gulp?
No, she had a son next to her son, and they were using the Slurpee machine, but he was suiciding it. So he was putting every bit of Slurpee in.
Come on, man.
And she's done using the machine, but she's in front of it. So I can't just
She's
you know,
standing-
wiggle my way
yeah,
in.
Yeah. Well, hey,
So,
sorry to cut you off. Respect for the suicide slushy, though.
yeah, except for it is an issue because he's like sitting there swirling it and she's just like looking at him. She's like, and he's like, Mom, look at the different colors. And I'm like, okay, can we take that to the theater? Like, I don't need to see the different fucking colors.
Suicide slushy
So,
sounds good.
That was strike one.
Okay.
I was like, okay, sit down, no problem, whatever. And the theater slowly starts to fill in.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then notice that the seats next to me are empty. And so there's some in there, and I see this couple come in with their 2 kids.
Oh, God damn it.
And I'm like,
Don't say here.
I'm like, no, don't do this to me. Kid sits right down next to me.
Yeah.
And the little fucker,
Why are people taking their kids to this movie?
I don't know, because it's not for children.
No.
And so he sits down, and at one point, he's talking through the entire movie, by the way.
I know. God
And-
damn it.
At one point, I'm about to lose my shit here. And he goes, Dad, I think I've seen this movie. And I wanted to so badly turn to this like 7-year-old boy and be like, no, you fucking haven't.
Yeah.
This movie came out last week. You haven't seen this fucking movie. So shut the fuck up and watch it.
Yeah, dude. Hey, preach, baby.
And I didn't do that.
Yeah, you have a little bit of
I
self-control.
gripped the seat.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, the kid starts playing on his dad's phone video
Oh my
games. I'm like,
God.
Jesus fucking Christ, here we go. And so after that,
What's wrong with people?
I don't know. Just read the room, man.
Yeah.
Look where you're at.
Yeah.
And so after that, I enjoyed the movie, but we were gonna go eat. I was like, okay, what else? It's nothing else can go wrong now. We're done.
You shouldn't have thought that thought.
Wrong.
Yeah, duh, dude.
Went to Hibachi. It's just me and Kelsey.
Is that where they throw the shrimp off the thing?
Yeah, and then it's on the grill.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We get settled in with another group of people. This dude, he was like, yeah, he's talking loud enough for everyone to hear. He's like, yeah, I'm making so much money on the road.
Oh, shut the fuck
and
up.
he's like, honey, you could probably quit your job and all, like, just bragging about
Yeah.
himself
Hey-
through the entire
Hey,
dinner.
douchebag. You make so much money, you're sharing a table with 10 other fucking people. Okay.
It's just like, Jesus Christ. And he didn't shut up. And on top of it, he was being the pickiest fucker at the table. He was like, nah, I don't like fried rice. I've always ate white rice my entire life. And I was like, okay, you don't have to announce that to the table.
You also don't have to eat it.
Yeah, you don't have to eat it. And then he gets a steak. It was the wrong steak. Chef sees it, goes, okay, I'll fix it. Gets the filet out, puts it on the grill for him. And this fuckhead, he's at a hibachi place, right?
Yeah.
What do
What is
you-
that, Japanese?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like, what do you do there? They usually slice it up and then serve it to you.
Yeah.
He told the chef, don't do that. I don't want you to do that. And so the chef's like, okay. So he just grills a steak for him.
Yeah.
The chef, I admire him so much for this. He, at a hibachi place, you don't need knives, so they don't serve them. So this fucker gets his steak, has no way to cut it.
I never thought about that.
I laughed so hard inside. I was like, that's what you get, you fuckhead.
yeah, seriously.
And then he goes, well, I just didn't want him to slice it because if it's sliced up, it just cooks more. And I want a medium rare. And I'm like,
Then go to a steakhouse.
Yeah, just go to a steakhouse. What the fuck are you doing at Hibachi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my night. Oh, and that night in particular, you know, they always do the volcano thing with the onions.
I've only been to like 2.
So usually they'll do like stack onions, pour some shit in there, and it
Okay.
goes whoosh. Funniest video I've ever seen Kelsey get. They do that, and this guy's holding his eyebrows with his fingers over him.
The guy with the steak guy?
No, like sitting around the table.
Just a different guy.
Yeah, different guy.
Okay.
And he's doing this.
Oh, he's been
to
there before.
protect his
He knows.
eyebrows from the fire.
He knows.
And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We didn't even notice it until.
He's a vet.
Yeah, this guy's seasoned. He's
Yeah.
seen some. Can you imagine? He must have had such an experience.
Oh, yeah.
Where his eyebrows just.
Dude,
singed.
I've only been to like 2 of those restaurants because I'm picky,
yeah,
so I don't. But we went to one in Las Vegas. The first time I ever been to one. I forget the name of it. Doesn't matter. But we went for a bachelor party, and I was that steak guy. I didn't say don't cut it up, but I got a steak, you know,
Yeah.
and it was fine. You know, it was good. It was, you know, but it was cool to watch. But my favorite part was I'd never had sake before.
Oh man.
And so they were like, yeah, you know, bottles of sake or whatever. And I got
You gotta be careful with that shit.
dude, I probably put down, I don't know how many bottles of that shit.
That shit will get you.
And then we
wasted.
went, and we went, I don't know, a year or so after that for Dak's wife's.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered sake. This is how stupid I am. I didn't know there was different kinds of sake.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really give a shit about the food. I was like, I just want sake.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, okay, you want hot or cold? And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I got hot sake, I got cold sake. And I was like, well, I don't want hot sake. And so he brought me cold sake, and it wasn't the same sake I had in Vegas. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, do you not have sake? And he goes, there's different flavors of sake.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know this, okay? I'm a fucking white Irish dude from Kansas,
We're
bro.
we're Neanderthals, okay?
Yeah.
Just
So-
you gotta bear with us here.
And then I texted some of the guys I was with. I was like, what was that sake? And they told me, I don't even remember what kind. And I was like, hey, do you have X whatever sake? And he's like, no, man, I got this sake. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll drink that sake. And I did try some of that heated.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why the fuck would you do that?
I don't know. I like it.
Oh my God, it's horrible. But so I saw the movie the same day you did.
Mm-hmm.
Different time, different theater. My experience was not as poor as yours, but it wasn't great because obviously the theater that you went to is a lot more spacious. You have reclined seats.
Yeah.
I went to just a regular movie theater, and you know we had decent seats, but this fat fucking nerd sat 2 seats away from me, and I could smell him the whole time.
Oh man, that's the worst.
But I expected it. It's a comic book movie.
Yeah, you're gonna get the nerds.
Right. Which we're nerds too. but
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, we shower.
Yeah, we take care of
So
ourselves.
I was like, God, I'm sitting next to this guy. Shaylee, God bless her. She was excited to see the movie.
Okay.
She's not a comic book fan like we are.
Yeah.
She's one of these fucking, ooh, I liked the Avengers. These Marvel idiots that don't know shit about shit. And I love her to death. So we're walking into the theater, and she goes, you know, I don't even think I saw the second one. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Because I know what that means.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
Exactly. Exactly. And I was like, okay. And we get our, we ran into Brandon Winfrey and his wife actually at the
Oh,
movie theater.
nice.
But we got our popcorn, and we go in, we sit. Fat fuck sits next to me, stankin'. And movie starts, but the previews start, which I like the previews.
Yeah.
Sue me. Shaylee pulls out her phone, doesn't have it on silent. A video goes, like makes a bunch of noise. And I just reacted. I feel bad about it. I apologize. But I reacted and I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you doing? Like, do you not know movie theater etiquette? And she goes, the movie hasn't even started. And I said, it doesn't matter. The thing just came and said, shut your fucking phone off. Shut it off. Follow the rules. I shut mine off. And I do feel bad for snapping at her. Okay. You know,
Yeah.
I acknowledge that. So we're watching the movie. There's a part in the movie where if you like comic books, it's a pretty pretty cool part. And I reacted to the part very quietly to myself. I felt like I was like, oh, fuck yeah. You know, or something like that. Who's that? I'm like, ignore it. Then something else. Wait, who's that? And I just kind of gave her a look like, can you not wait till we get home? Okay, because I'm going to only get to experience this for the first time one time.
Yep.
Okay? So please. Like, it was everything I could do to not, like... And she wasn't being, like, very adamant about it. She would just whisper, and I was just like, not now. Just please, not now. Please, not now. Because there are some things that happen in this movie with some characters that long overdue.
Yeah.
And I was excited about it.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I had a pretty good viewing experience. But I hate how big of a dick I have to be when I go into movies like this. You know,
Dude, I had a Marvel experience one time. I went to watch one of the movies, and I don't know about you, but they can be the worst, Marvel fans, because
well, any comic book
So,
fan in general,
this-
and I would say that I can be a part of that problem at times.
this particular one though, it had like people. Well, for whatever reason, there was a cameo from a new character showed up. Motherfuckers were standing up going, yeah,
stop
woo!"
that.
And I was like, sit the fuck down.
They did that with the Spider-Man movie,
Yeah.
and it's like, shut up.
They can't even hear you.
And by the way, the things that came out in the last Spider-Man movie, I mean, it's been out. The Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming in. We all knew that was going to happen,
Yeah.
right? So, like, don't act like...
They were spotted on set like 6 months before the movie even came out.
hate when people do that in the movie theater. I also hate that, like, if you're on an airplane and you land, like, everybody starts clapping, and it's like, for what, bitch? They did their job. Like, I go to work every day. Nobody's like, hey, way to go, bud. Way to go.
Yeah, you time out at 5:30. I don't hear applause like, good job today.
Yeah. What the hell? It's so annoying. But I had a couple other things before we get out of here. I wanted to read. It's been a while since we've done this.
Oh, the analytics. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to remind you.
We used to do the analytics on the show to just kind of let everybody know where we're at.
Yep.
I'm not going to say the audience number because I feel like that's fucking bragging. But here's what I will say. Platform-wise, we're 61% Spotify,
Nice.
24.8% Apple, 6.2% web browser. So I don't know what that means really. Maybe iHeart and
Something.
Amazon or something.
Yeah.
Podcast Addict, 3.9, Podbean, 3.3, and then there's other. Our age range right now, we are predominantly 28 to 34.
Nice.
I mean, we're all ages though. We've even got some 60 plus. So thanks.
Shout out.
Now this has shifted. We used to be mainly a female-based show,
Yeah,
probably because we're so desirable.
obviously.
We're 62.3% male.
No, we've shifted big time.
We're 37.4% female and 0.3% non-specified.
Cool.
So maybe some aliens. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the interesting part. These are all the countries we're in now. Obviously, the United States,
Yep.
the United Kingdom. Hello, governor.
Hey.
Ireland.
Mm.
So,
Some Irish village somewhere.
yeah, somewhere where they have internet. We're up north in Canada there, bud.
Hey.
Russia.
They still get internet?
It's regulated. This is the one that trips me out. Because this is new.
Yeah.
This country is new. I
Yeah.
texted you about this.
Yep.
It happened since the Olympics started, but we are in France.
Hey, we're just speculating here.
Yeah.
We might have an Olympian listen to us, people.
Well, I can't imagine it's a French person because all we have done is shit on the French.
Yeah.
And
I really thought when we were doing the rundown of Big Fish, you were going to bring up that she's French.
no, I couldn't do that. But yeah, Simone Biles might be listening to us.
Noah Lyles, whatever.
Somebody in France is listening to us. It's either an Olympian from some country
Or wee wee.
or it's a French person that hates France, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe, but hey, if you're listening from France and you're an Olympian on Team USA or Team Ireland, we've got 3 gold medals, by the way, in Ireland. What's up? Hit us up. Come on the show.
Give us a shout out.
What
man.
up? What up, Holmes?
Yeah, come in studio. We'll
Thanks.
see.
I texted Chase and I was like, how crazy would it be if somebody wins a medal? And
They're in
the
an
interview and they're like, hey, what's your pre-swim routine, or what's your they're like, actually, I just put on my favorite podcast. It's these C&D's booze reviews. And
Real small guys.
It gets me fucking hyped to go do the pommel horse or something.
Yes.
So that would be incredible.
Hey, if it was an Olympian, you best believe we would, even if no one else knew him, we'd be like, hey, best Olympian we've ever met.
Well, that's what K-State's doing right now.
Yeah. Well,
Their coach signed a contract like 3 days before the Olympics, won a gold medal, and they're like, yeah, it's our coach.
hey, it is our coach.
Yeah, but it's fucking bullshit because nobody's met her.
I didn't see KU having any coaches that went to the Olympics.
No, not this year. By the way, I've been rooting for her since the trials
Yeah.
because I think she's really cool. And her husband is fast. He's the fastest man on blades right now.
Oh.
He's a double amputee.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So he just
Yeah, but he's not going to kill his girlfriend, hopefully, like Oscar Pistorius did.
alleged. Oh, I don't even think that's
No,
alleged.
he
did
got.
that.
And then our newest segment, we did it last week. I wanted to ask you, what are you watching now? What are you watching right now?
Right now.
Because I heard last week you were talking about House of the Dragons. I haven't seen it yet, the second season, but I heard the last episode really disappointed a lot of people.
Yeah, it did.
And when I heard it, I was like, in true Game of Thrones fashion, that's...
It was kind of like the last episode almost felt like a trailer for like season 3.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it was.
So outside of that, are you watching anything right now?
Not really.
You don't have a show you're...
Honestly, I've been kind of busy this week and just kind of.
Well, I have. I had been watching. I finished it now since we're doing this, but The Outsider. Have you heard of it? Have you heard about this? Have you seen about this?
Hey,
have
you read about it?
Have you read about this? It's based off a Stephen King novel.
Oh yeah,
Came out a couple years ago, but it's on Max, and it's got. I saw it on TikTok. Maybe you've seen this video too. It's like a clip of Jason Bateman getting arrested from a Little League game. You haven't seen it? So I looked that up. I was like, what the hell is this? And it's a Stephen King novel called The Outsider. They did like 10 episodes on it.
Oh, sweet.
This show's right up your alley.
Oh, science fiction-y? Or
I would say thriller, paranormal type
Ooh,
shit.
Yeah, that is up my alley.
Yeah, but it's just a miniseries. It's just one season.
I'm about to start the Umbrella Academy, though.
I watched the first season of that. I haven't continued. I'll have to go through and rewatch. But yes,
Yeah, the new season's
But
out.
this Outsider, without kind of giving anything away, basically what the show is about is it opens up with Bateman's character being arrested. He's like a teacher, Little League coach,
Yeah.
big member of the community, but they're arresting him for murdering like a 10-year-old boy very gruesomely. But there's evidence of him at the murder doing the murder, but then there's evidence at the very exact same time of him at a teaching conference
Damn.
like 2 hours
Yeah,
away.
this sounds like a good one.
And then it becomes a pattern of children getting killed, and the suspect is in two places at one time. So it's basically a group of people trying to come together to figure out how the fuck that even...
It happens, yeah.
And then it...
Oh, I guess I lied to you a little bit. I have been watching the X-Files.
Okay, well, it's similar to that, I guess. But it's a group of people trying to figure that out. And just when you think... What makes the show great... It's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way.
Damn.
What makes the show great is just when you think you've got it pinned, next episode...
Just pull the rug out.
Yeah,
I
blows
love
it wide
those.
open.
I love those.
So, but that prompted me to watch Ozark, which I had not seen. I understand it was like a massive show.
Yeah, big time show.
But I hadn't seen it. So I'm watching that right now.
I need to
as
watch
well.
it. I need to get...
It's good, man.
I know it's good. I just haven't done it.
And then I got two other things, and then I don't know if you have some stuff. I've had a lot of time on my hands, so I watched the new Zendaya movie.
Oh, the tennis one?
Yeah, it's called Challengers or whatever. Challenger.
Oh, yeah.
It's not what you think, man.
It isn't.
No, they goaded us into that.
Fuckers.
Yeah. I was so disappointed. I was like, what the, But anyway, the movie's horrible.
Not a good movie.
If I had to rate it out of a 6-pack, 0.5.
Damn. Terrible movie.
One of the worst movies I've seen.
Well, you know how I feel about Zendaya.
I know. But what's crazy is the acting's not bad. And not even by her, but like by the other two guys that they had in the movie, they're really not that bad. The story is just dog shit.
Dog shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
so the
bad
whole
script
thing
will do
is
that.
like, they all met, these 3 people met when they were like 17, 18 years old, right?
Yeah.
And they're about to go pro in tennis or whatever. And Zendaya's like the next Serena Williams and all this. She gets hurt, becomes a coach, but she's toying with these 2 dudes who are best friends and partners, doubles partners, and ends up striking up a relationship with like the bad boy. And then he kind of fucks up a little bit. And then she ends up marrying the other guy, but then she's still sleeping with the bad. She's a total villain in this entire thing.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's horrible. The ending of it, god awful. Because it ends, it's one of those endings where nothing gets resolved and it's like, oh, it's up to the viewer to decide.
Decide what happens.
That's so overplayed.
It's only good if the rest of the movie was great, and then it leaves you to, your imagination.
Dog shit. Dog shit.
Okay.
Horrible. Aquaman's better than this piece of shit.
That's pretty bad then.
It's bad.
Because Aquaman, we shit all over.
It's bad. But another movie came out the same day as that on streaming, that Ryan Gosling movie, Fall Guy,
Yeah.
with Meredith Krasinski. God damn it.
Emily Blunt.
Is that her name? Yeah. Yes. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, dude, Gosling's a funny guy in these action comedies, like he was with
Nice
Russell
Guys.
Crowe. Yeah. It's pretty good, man. I would watch it if I was you. It's on I think it's on Amazon or something. But.
Fuck it. You can find it.
And then last week I made a big deal because I felt like my luck had changed, and I had been awarded a which I spent some money on it, but
Jamal Charles. Jersey.
Chiefs jersey.
Yeah.
It came in. Looks beautiful.
Okay.
So I bought this with one purpose in mind, to give to my nephew who wanted it.
Yeah.
Talked to my sister, told her, I was like, I'm going to be uncle of the year. I got this signed Jamal Charles jersey. It's authenticated, all that. And she's like, oh my God, he's going to love it. I couldn't help myself. I sent him a Snapchat and I was like, dude, look what your Uncle D got you.
Yeah.
He calls me. He goes, hey man, I don't want to sound ungrateful.
Oh.
And I don't know how to tell you this, but I got to be completely transparent. Mom bought me a signed Jamal Charles jersey like 6 months ago.
Oh.
And I was like, excuse me? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, sure it's signed? And he goes, yeah, pretty sure. And I was like, that's funny, because I was on the phone with her a few days ago and she didn't say shit.
Yeah, she didn't snitch.
And he goes, I mean, I'll take it. And I was like, no.
No, what? No. You don't get it anymore.
You already have one.
It
It's not his fault.
It can
but,
go up in the new studio.
well, I think I'm just going to sit on it and maybe give it away as a gift for something. I don't know. But the reason it pisses me off is because there was 2 other things I wanted to buy for myself. And I chose to be a cool uncle.
It's
and
me,
bid
Uncle
on
Ben.
that.
I'm selfless.
I could have got the Salvador Perez signed jersey for myself, which I would have loved to have had.
Yeah.
Or the signed Secretariat picture, which I would have loved to have. But I said, no, I'm going to try to get this jersey for my nephew.
Yeah.
He's had it for 6 months. How did I not know this? And then I call my sister and I tell her about it. And she doesn't even say shit. She's like, oh my God, he's going to love you for it.
She didn't fold.
I'm convinced that maybe she doesn't know that the jersey she bought for him was signed.
See, this is where I thought the story was going to go, that you got it, and it was like a mini jersey or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
Oh, no, it's legit.
Oh, fuck.
It's badass. But I'm a little pissed
Yeah, I would be.
because I spent some money on this fucking thing. And I'm not a Chiefs fan. I mean,
I guess if I have to
doesn't
take
matter.
it,
No, it doesn't matter. It's still cool to have
if
it.
I have to take it off your hand and,
Yeah, I know. You and Austin and fucking everybody else.
I guess if I had to, I would.
But Yeah, man. I finally felt like I got a win, you know? I was like, man, we had a shitty week. Shitty's car got fucking pummeled. All this stuff happened. I won this jersey. I was like, man, I won. I won something.
It's your turn to go carry Madame Zeroni up the hill.
Somebody's going to have to.
All right, well.
You got anything else you want to bring up?
No, I'm good, man.
I think I'm good too. Let me make sure. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm satisfied.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. How about you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, thanks everyone.
Hey, who'd you vote for in the election last week?
I didn't vote.
I'm just fucking.
I don't kiss and tell.
All right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks again for the continued support. Like I said, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm pretty optimistic about having the video thing figured out.
Maybe.
So go check out last week's episode on YouTube. This week's will be up. This episode, it'll be Monday. When you're listening to this, hopefully the video itself will be uploaded on Tuesday. That's kind of the what we're trying to do. So check that out. Also, we're on the TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. That's it, right?
I think so.
Everything but Twitter. At C&D's Booze Reviews, the #1 podcast in your area.
Yep.
If you have maybe some ideas of movies you'd like us to take a look at,
Sure.
comment on any of those social media pages. We have taken them into account in the past.
And we will probably do it.
More than likely. Probably. Yeah. And we're coming up on a year, so expect that. Moving into the new studio. That's coming. I think that's all the news to share at the moment.
Yep.
All right, man. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, buddy.
Love you.
Sitting here drinking beer.